environment of ServiceNow and look at how we're going to use it and sort of walk you through some of the standard tools that I have found useful and that others have found useful so that we understand how to use it. And I think the purpose in having such a large audience is for us all to get a good look at the tool that we're going to be using. And because of the fact that we kind of have a short runway with this thing going live next week, CRM will stay in service. It's just that we're not going to be updating CRM moving forward. The only thing you're going to have access to are the cases that already exist. In the project world, I think it would behoove us to have someone on your team recreate the projects in ServiceNow so that any new notes can be updated and new information can be updated. And I will show you where information is so that we have access to it. So I'm going to cruise over here to ServiceNow. I don't know, how do I get rid of this to be? Okay, good. There we go. Okay. So here's our instance of ServiceNow. I have full admin rights, so I have more elements to my left side menu there than you would. But the three main areas where you will spend 90% of your day are service desk, organization, and knowledge. And I will run through how we are going to use these in projects. Now, there is a project management module for ServiceNow that we will be getting. I've heard rumors that we'll be getting it sometime in November. So at that point, we're going to learn a new way to do this. So what this is now is just how we're going to use this system for now as a stopgap. So similarly to the way we used CRM, everything is grouped into a single bucket. In the world of ServiceNow, it follows ITIL. I don't know how many of you are familiar with ITIL, but these tickets are known as incidents. Incident is simply something broke we didn't expect, but we are using incident tickets for our parent project tickets as well, just simply because we don't have the project's platform right now. So that's just the one difference with how this thing should be used that needs to be sort of known up front and understood up front. So I'll walk you through creating ticket, creating parent, child, and explain the uses of each of those. So under Service Desk, you have a variety of different tools that you can use. Like I said, most of the time you'll spend your day in the incidents module, taking a look at the tickets that are out there, working in and out of the tickets that are out there, and basically doing what you do now. So as you can see right now on my screen is the list of all of the tickets that currently reside in the production instance of ServiceNow. So I'll show you in a moment how to filter those out so that you're only looking at our business segment. Our business segment is known as Keith IT Customer Implementations. So I'll show you how to show only that here in a moment. The second point of interest that I'd like to show you is organization, because organization is where you're going to find your facility information, which is what we would have been calling our profiles in CRM. So you can see your client profiles here. Unfortunately, because of this system, we don't have a single rolled up solution for having both of them in the same place. So there are two different places to go to get your client profile and then your support profile. Your support profile is the third area of interest, which is under knowledge. Right now, that is not active. So for the purposes of this discussion today, the knowledge base is not active for use as our support profile. But in the future, that's where you would go. Like if you were working on ASPC Douglas, what is that, Pago, Arizona, you would simply go to the knowledge base and open that up, and it would have your passwords, the contact, and any information that a support person would need.
My daughter, sorry.
Oh, no worries, no worries. and you would have that information for you to be able to refer for the information you need to support them. All of the common information that they have, like software versions, server version, and everything will be in the client profile. So I'll walk through these and show you how they look. So in a standard client profile, I'll open one of these real quick for you. We've just got the name and the basic contact information and the locations for each of the sites if there are multiple location sites. Then we take a look under organization. You can see here client profile, which is similar to the name we used to use. I'll just pick this same one again. This has all the information of the types of different services that we provide are listed, versions are listed, so that you can see the basic information about the site. And then thirdly, you could go to the knowledge base, which I'll go over again with you later. You can use me as a point of contact for questions. Hey, where do I find this information? I'll refresh your mind at that point. But knowledge is located right here, and normally under the knowledge home page, this would be populated with similar information to what we had been looking before. You would see the names of all of the locations. You would simply open them up and all the information you had under the support profile would be there. All of that has been migrated straight from CRM, so there should be nothing missing. So let me know if there is something missing. Now, there's one thing you need to understand about the relationship of the knowledge base, and this is something that we still don't have a solution for, but we're going to work towards in the future, and that is that there is a one-way relationship between ServiceNow and Salesforce. The account managers do not have ServiceNow accounts. They're not going to use ServiceNow accounts. They're going to use Salesforce. So the problem that exists there is it is potentially possible for them to make updates to a profile that you may not know about because it's a one-way relationship. So if you make changes on our end, it will not repopulate ServiceNow or Salesforce. So you're going to have to coordinate with your account managers whenever you make major changes so that they can reflect those on the Salesforce side for things that they need to know. Now, they do by default see the tickets that you have open, and they can see the latest notes of the tickets. So if you keep your notes updated on your tickets, you can just basically refer them back to that site in Salesforce, and they can take a look and see what those tickets are, and they'll have the current status of them at that point. Okay? So let's...
Hey, Bob. Hey, Bob, yeah. Can I add one thing? The one thing that we're also going to be getting, so for the project managers who work really closely with the account managers that are be accessing in Salesforce, the PMs will actually have licenses into Salesforce to get the most accurate, the business line type contacts to prepare for the projects. So that's coming also.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to walk through real quick creating a ticket, and I'll sort of walk you through our concept of how we intend to use the parent ticket relationship, the child ticket relationship, and how that's going to relate to projects and tasks. So I'm going to open the incident and create new. Remember, we're referring to everything as incidents now. So this one will be a project. I think for now what we're going to do is have the project manager be the caller on a parent project. When you create child tickets, you can make the caller the technician that will be doing the work for which that one is assigned, or you can leave it as the project manager, whichever you prefer. This way we can look up regionally by the name of the project manager what work they have active out there. So for now, I'll use my own name. This one was created by me. It auto-populates from AD, so anyone who's in AD can be put in the field here. We won't worry about impact, urgency, and priority unless we're talking about a real incident in that something has broken. So I'll review that for you here in a minute, how those work. But they're pretty common with ITIL. So here's the point where it's going to differentiate for us under line of business. We're going to create all of ours here under Keith IT Customer Implementations. So I go ahead and select that. Category will be similar to what we had before in CRM. I'll just use good old happy existing customer upgrade that I think we're all familiar with. Subcategory will be on-site. Assignment group, you can open this and cruise over to, we'll just give this one to the St. Louis implementation analysts, and this will carry with it the names of basically everyone in this room that are part of the IA group. And then you can assign it to an individual similarly to the way you would with any other ticketing system. Their name would auto-populate when you begin to type their name. Okay, for now, I'll just leave it assigned to the group. This one is going to be project parent. Okay, now the use for this type of a ticket would be when you're creating the master project ticket for any project that you have. This is where you would give it a name. Under the short description, there is a limited amount of characters, but what you want to do is put in there the site and then basically what the services are that we're doing. You could put the type of integration, DLT, DLS, whatever it is, basically on a string, similarly to the way we would present those for the implementation meeting, so that anyone who looks at that can see which project that is. Okay. And then on this one, I'm just going to put, this is the project parent ticket. Okay. Again, this is just an example. Now, I've got everything in there. I'm going to go ahead and submit this. And there it is. Now, I'm going to look at and note, I'll just copy it, this particular incident record. Okay. Now, it has come time for me to create tasks. So let's just say, for purposes of this one, I'll just keep my name in here. But for this one, you could use the implementation analyst who is responsible. You could also use the project manager. We'll say that this one is set up and install kiosks, just for purposes of having some type of a task to do. Again, the line of business is going to be Keep IT customer implementations. Category existing customer upgrade. Subcategory in-house. Assignment group will again go with corporate. So we'll go with St. Louis implementation analysts. We'll give this one to good old Mr. Wright. All right. Okay, now down here under related records is where we create the parent-child relationship. Okay, so here you just simply plug in the incident you created before and then submit. It will save that ticket as a child for that master project. So when you resolve the task itself, it does nothing to the master project. But if you resolve the master project, it will close all child tickets under it. This, I think, is a good way for you to track your tasks for your IAs and use the tickets that way. That way you can see all of the tickets that show up there. Now, here up top, you can customize personalized list items. And what I've done here, what I found useful, let me see if I did it for this one, was I added a field called child incidents, so that when you save it, you can see if there are child incidents under that particular ticket. Which this one should have populated with. I don't understand why it didn't. I'll have to take a look at why that, or no, that's not mine. None of these seem to be populated. I'll take a look at that. Perhaps it should show there. It should show you the, oh no, it does show one. I see what it's doing here. It's just enumerating them. So it's showing you that there is one child ticket for that. So if you see your master project parent, you can see how many child tickets exist out there. And you can drill down and take a look and see what's out there. Okay. So impact, urgency, and priority. If you have an incident related to a project, I think the best way to do that is to create the incident ticket and assign it to the service desk the same way we always have before. And here's where you're going to want to use your impact, urgency, and priority. So impact is defined as how bad it's going to hurt the client, whatever's going on. Okay, if something doesn't work that they're expecting, if there's a client satisfaction issue, something like that, we're going to want to go with a higher impact. If it's something they're probably not going to notice, we know it's wrong, but it's nothing that they're going to be down or any services are not going to be accountable for over, we can use a lower priority. But this is how we can sort of help the service desk prioritize what we've got going on. Urgency is just how important it is to get it resolved in a timely manner. So we make a very high impact, and urgency is something they're going to get to right away. But we want to continue to follow the rule that if everything is urgent, nothing is. So you're going to want to use that sparingly. So if it's something that constitutes an outage with respect to a project, you can create an incident ticket that way and track it that way as well. I think a good practice there is to make it also a child ticket of your project so that you can track it under the project and see the progress of it as well. Ticket states. So notice up top here, when tickets are first created, their default status is new, but as soon as the ticket gets assigned to a group, it's in progress. As you go through it and you fill out different stages of the ticket, it will continue to move along through the life cycle. Resolution and recovery comes up when you begin to populate the field for the solution of the problem. And then when you close the ticket with any of our closed, whichever of the closed indicators, resolved, closed, whatever it is we use, it will consider the ticket closed. So it will go through the life cycle. You can reopen tickets the same way you can in CRM. So if you run into those issues, you can do that as well. So let me walk you through a little bit of how to, let me look at all of the problems or all of the incidents that are open. So let's say you want to create an isolated list of things that you're looking at. One of the easiest way I found to do this is just go here. Let me find it again. I think we can just filter here. Filter, there we go. So if you want to take a look at the ones that are just Keep IT customer implementations, you can see those. Or I found one that I've created that I think works best, that I think you should probably duplicate, at least for purposes of our group. I think the line of business being Keep IT customer implementations. And then you're going to want to choose an or argument, not and, because that will reduce the amount of hits that you get on the fields because of the fact that it has to meet all of the criteria. So do it as an or statement. Your next one should be assigned to or assignment group is, for this one you have to populate. So let's do project managers, or assignment group is regional IAs, or assignment group is St. Louis Implementation Analyst. Then you can run it, and it will show your fields down here with just what you've called up, so you can see just the work that is being done by all of your groups and your related teams. So that way you don't have to see all the service desk stuff that's out there. Up top here, you'll see a long line of filtered events here. This is known as breadcrumbs. You can go back along this line of breadcrumbs and isolate anywhere along here. If you just want to see all in any line of business, you can click here. If you want to see just the line of business of Keep IT customer implementations, you can click here, so that it'll just reduce the amount of filtering that you've got going on. This will help you see a reduced list, so you're not looking at just the entire thing. Let's see. So if you're taking a look at this particular line of business and you want to see all the ones that are the same thing, you can just quickly look at show matching, and it will bring up only the ones that are key IT customer implementations. You can do that on any field here. So if you want to see tickets that are only open by me, you can do that as well on my name. Same way.
Anybody do regions?
I don't think we have that yet. I don't remember seeing that yet. We could do that by name of the project manager. But I'm going to work in the future toward having that be something we can use.
Can we use the location field?
Say again?
Can we use the location field?
Can we search by state?
Well, wouldn't location field be the location of the site, though? How would it be a region?
Can you say
Well, the site is, I mean, the state is close enough.
Right.
There's only a few overlap, 10 overlap.
like when you fill the ticket out?
Power.
I mean, you're talking about just being able to see the list by region, correct?
Well, by states would be fine too, so you could look at.
Yeah, I mean, you could go to the fields that you can select and see what's available there for selecting. I'm eventually going to have this organized by region, so we'll have different ways to do this. Plus, when we get our project module, we're going to do this a completely different way anyway. But you can find it.
Because I could see the just, you know, the work that shows going on.
Okay. All right, so if you have a list of things that you have that you want to share with someone, you can export it. Up here in the top under the incidents, we have this little symbol is known as a hamburger. Click on that, you can export it, and there are various options for exporting, so that you can export this list to a variety of different ways for you to be able to show that to someone, share it in email, whatever you want to do.
3 lines.
Let's see.
Grilled cheese. Good grilled cheese.
Notifications are. Take a look.
Grilled cheese.
Let me see something here. I forget where one thing was that I wanted to show you.
They still have like a list of contacts?
That's a good question.
I didn't see any contacts in there. I just saw a phone number. No.
Yeah, let me take a
One of
look.
the most useful things.
Yeah.
Give me a minute. Let me take a look.
Oh, great. How are we supposed to contact anybody?
That's your region.
I can't remember where the notification is, so I think I'm going to come back to that. Okay, one more little thing I wanted to show you here, just in the basics of creating and using tickets. So if you created a ticket that you wanted to engage the JIRA team with, the folks over in development, they have a assignment group.
Yeah, so under the locations, if you look at it, it's Keefe, Colorado, Keefe, Arkansas. And you could filter it that way and put it in there. You do by state.
That'll work.
Hey, Rob.
Yeah.
Under the, organization, under like the client profile, who's responsible for making sure that's accurate?
They're missing some states.
Say this one more time.
So under the organization, like the client profile, that's like the cut and support profile in CRM.
Mm-hmm.
Like right now, the IA puts those notes in that say like they're on version 2.1.1.3 of Commissary Lifetime.
Right.
Who does that in ServiceNow?
I would think it would continue to be the same.
It's like if I pull one up, like Coleman,
Mm-hmm.
edit that page.
Okay, that may be just a permissions issue or just the fact that they've got the database locked down. There will be some things that will be different, one of which is that knowledge base. And I think that part of the information is what's locked down as well. I think Fred was saying that. So we'll get that reviewed for later and make sure that's working for you.
Yeah. Hey, Bob. So the other thing that Fred mentioned, I mean, there's still data migrating over the weekend. So it might not be fully populated. I heard David mention about contacts and so forth a while ago.
That's right.
I mean, they're still in the midst of getting multiple clients. They have some converted over, and they're going to be working on it most of the weekend.
Right.
So if the data is not there on Monday, then you guys need to reach back out to us if you're not finding that contact information.
Have their region names in it.
Well, so does that location, it has the, it goes with warehouse.
The some territory though, it says like Texas, Midwest, Madison, Ohio. Did you go to locations under organization?
Sorry, I'm under the incident.
If you go under organization, go to location. There's a some
Let
territory
me create a new.
field.
Let me just leave that one because I want to do this right here.
ServiceNow profile.
I guess so.
How do you get to that?
The link you gave me? In the email?
In the go-to meeting? The meeting?
No, I'm just staring at my own stuff. The problem, if you look at anything on this thing, it's like,
Which email had the link in it though? Am I missing it?
the last one.
What, the link to log on?
14.
Jira.
Came from
So Jira,
this morning.
we can assign it to the Jira support group,
Uh-huh.
which are all of the developers.
Yeah.
And you can make development requests here, so you can create your ticket for a development request and then assign it to them. You can just leave it assigned to the group when you're just creating one. I'll call this a development request. That way you can track the request for the creation of a Jira ticket here.
Now, Bob, this is Justin. Will we still send the email just like we do now and do the ticket, or just do the ticket and not the email?
So what do you do now? You just send an email and you don't create a ticket in CRM?
Well,
Then
no,
I would say-
I don't create a ticket for something like this. Normally in the checklist, it'll say email this, and this, or whatever, and we just do that. Will we do both?
Then I'd say it's probably best to do both.
Okay.
Send the email alerting them that it's there. I mean, you could try just creating the ticket and see if they'll pick it up that way, but if it were me, I think I'd go with the email as well.
Yeah, until we get all this worked out, Bob, I agree.
Right.
Eventually gonna work in the KHL group. Just have to submit something here instead of sending the dumb emails that they request.
Like, what do you mean?
For KHL, you have to send them an email for every single request.
Okay.
Like similar to what he was talking about. You gotta-
I would-
Then they'll create the JIRA.
Yeah, I would say similarly, we would create a Jira ticket here, assign it to them, and then email them, letting them know. Just during the time that we're getting used to using this. I would think once it's all set up, we should just be able to create the ticket and not have to worry about it, so that we can create a request of them. Okay. Oh, one last thing I wanted to show you. Let's look at reports. So now I have not played much with this module, but this is a pretty comprehensive report module. It essentially works on filtered lists and isolations. You can choose different criteria that you're choosing to look for in your support list, and it will allow you to create a report that has just that information so that you can look up different regions, you can look up different types of tickets or different projects or whatever parents you've got out there and create reports based on them. So I urge you to go in here and take a look at this and play with it and come up with different ways to use it. As we move along, we're going to have checklists and different ways that we're all going to be able to use this. But again, the purpose of today's information is just to give us a stopgap between now and whatever time we have all of this developed to the point where we want. And those are all the basics of running through ServiceNow. So I can certainly answer any questions we have.
Hey, Bob, so the other thing I'll just add for the team, I mean, this is really basic out of the box phase one of this. It's really to be able to get what we have in CRM into this product. The main focus of this is really getting incident management going. So the service desk has been going through a lot more extensive training to get familiar with this. And as Bob said, the project piece is going to be coming along later this year. So we're going to be enhancing this, you know, really over the next 12 months to what we want it to be. So it's, like I said, it's out of the box right now, pretty basic. Just whatever information we have in CRM is what is the information we want to get in here. And then anytime you have changes, requests, things along that line, you know, feed that back to Bob and we'll funnel those back through the teams.
Hey, Bob.
Yep.
Is there a spot to look up